Greetings all you manics, minds, and crimes, and welcome back to another Warframe weapon showcase. Today, we are going to be taking a look at the Tipedo Prime. So, this is a prime of a weapon that I used to use a very long time ago and absolutely loved. I loved it a lot. Used to use it in long survival runs. So the prime of this weapon has been out for a while now, ever since Equinox Prime. So, this is a stave, and staves, in my opinion, are better than polearms because at least staves have stances that are different and, interesting. Polearm stances, two of them are the exact same stance, and one of them is cool but a little slow. So, anyway, I have this skin on. I also have this skin. It's quite a few skins for all of this. So, this is the build. Now, to Forma. This weapon comes with 1 V polarity and 1 D polarity, which is annoying. I wish this thing came with 2 Vs. I also changed the stance polarity because Clashing Forest I like much more than Flailing Branch because, I don't know, Flailing Branch doesn't feel as good as it used to. I mean, it's fine if you use a stave Zaw because then you could sort of just cheese the hell out of using Exodia Hunt easily with Flailing Branch, but whatever. Standard, viral, condition overload, weeping wounds, blood rush setup. So this weapon has a really high attack speed, high critical multiplier, and high status chance and high base damage. Of course, this thing is going to be powerful. You can't say that this weapon's not going to be strong because it's not like, oh, it's not a polearm because polearms are stronger than staves. That's not true. It all depends on the weapon, not the stances. Anyway, so we are going to go immediately into Steel Path because this weapon obliterates everything that isn't Steel Path, and even Steel Path gets obliterated really damn quickly. I've already talked about Clashing Forest on this channel with my Zaw stave. Is this better than my Zaw stave? I'd say they're very similar, and that's awesome. Especially for Zaws, because some primes are just way stronger than some Zaws. It really depends on how you build them. Anyway, I'm going to be taking Oberon Prime with this build, if you're curious. Immortal Goat, because that's what he is. Anyway, immediately into Steel Path solo Sedna, because I'm not fucking around with the Void. It really won't, it won't matter too much. I just feel like I just do this one as a good base because everyone's like, Grineer tougher than everything. They're kind of not, but whatever. I am not using Nariman because you don't need Nariman. Also, I gotta say that this staff skin goes very, very well with this fashion. I don't know, it looks like a scepter to me. So that's cool. I'm beating the hell out of people with the scepter. Anyway, I'll get my stuff going. And first enemies. Already dead. And yeah, this thing is fast, by the way. If you're yeah, it's fast. But here's the thing with high attack speed. It's great, okay? It's very good. But it comes to a point where if your attack speed is a bit too high, some combos don't work. I don't know if everyone has experienced this, but it's a thing. And I remember Clashing Forest used to be like this combo right here would send you across the map in a half, but no more. Of course, this was like a year and a half ago or something. Very long time ago. I've been playing this game for 3 years. Also, when I'm doing the stab animation, it looks like there's a jet of energy coming out. I don't think that does damage. If it does, then it does. If it doesn't, it doesn't. I think it's just a visual thing. I've never noticed it on any other stave, which is odd. But anyway, yeah. No red crits, but I mean, this thing has 50% status chance, 24% critical chance, a 4.6 critical multiplier, and decently high base damage. I mean, the base damage isn't like Grand Prime levels, but I mean, the Grand Prime is the Grand Prime. Powerful as hell, but slow. Which is why I don't use my Grand Prime anymore, because it's too slow. Anyway, I don't think anyone is surprised that this is a very powerful weapon, yet I never see it. I don't know why. Maybe because it's vaulted, I think, at least. The relics I got it out of were vaulted, but I had so many of them that I was able to get it, thankfully. I actually just got it today of this recording, so... It's a beast, man. It's a beast. So, obviously, I would normally be using corrosive. Corrosive plus the Panzer Wolfenfilo's Viral will do more damage, but I mean, as you see, does it matter? No. You don't even need to... I swear, this is one of the weapons that you could just mod it for whatever, and it's going to kill whatever. Just because the base damage is so damn high. Especially with Condition Overload and Weeping Wounds and Blood Rush. Yes, red crits are pretty. Yes, they do damage. But I mean, not necessary. To me, if you want a weapon to do a shit ton of damage, a good balance or more status might be better. It all really just depends. If the enemy could be affected by status, that is. Some enemies in this game do not care about status effects. So, that's just how it is. But the Tipedo Prime, it's not struggling. This is going through these enemies like butter. It's just absolutely mincemeating them. This is the story for every single melee weapon I've ever used in Steel Path ever with Condition Overload. It's just how strong melee is. Melee is ridiculous. And I'm going to fight the Acolyte too. Just to show you that this thing will absolutely destroy the Acolyte if he doesn't kill me, because the Acolytes hit like goddamn trains, which is why I usually keep my distance and kill him with my pistol, my Spore Lacer pistol. But yeah, and it's ripping enemies in half constantly. So Necros fans, this is a thing. Of course, some people are like, but it's not the Guandao Prime. I know the Guandao Prime is strong. I just don't have it. I'm glad that a Guandao Prime exists. I kind of figured that the Guandao Prime would come with Nezha Prime. But I have enough melee weapons as it is. And if it was a stave, I would be all for it. But it's a polearm, and... polearm stances, Twirling Spire is the only stance that's interesting. The other two are exactly the same. So yeah, this is effortless, absolutely effortless. I should skedaddle and get to the life support, and then I'll go back. Oh, now they're taking stealth damage. What the hell? Just because I ran away? And not to mention, this combo I'm doing lifts enemies into the air. So, that's even better. Okay, here comes the Acolyte. So I'm going to be max combo for this. And I'm probably going to lay down a pad of radioactive weed. Chernobyl weed, as I call it. Oh, it's violence. Great. Mister, I'm going to disable your powers. Joke's on you. You're bleeding to death. Yeah. Not even a challenge. Like, hey, don't do that. I don't know why this weapon isn't used more. It's great. It's fast. It has a lot of reach. It's strong as hell. By all means, this should be one of the quote-unquote meta weapons, but I don't know. I never see it. Maybe it is used more often than I think, and I'm just not observant enough. I don't know. Maybe some of my viewers are like, oh my god, dude, this is my favorite melee weapon. I use it all the goddamn time. What are you talking about? And yeah, I mean, I can understand why it's your favorite. I love it. The regular Tipedo, fantastic. The Prime just makes it better. I don't know how much of a... Well, I can check the differences between the Tipedo and the Tipedo Prime. I assume the stats are slightly higher, but not by much. So, yeah, that was not even hard. It's Steel Path isn't hard. Coming from me, who has basically everything in the game and these insane, really powerful builds and everything. So this is the base stats. So 24% critical chance and 24% status. That is a beautiful mix, and you can get sort of similar with that with Zaws, and that's beautiful. It is a glorious, glorious thing. So we go down here to the regular Tipedo. I could have just searched for it, I guess. But where is... Oh, okay. So yeah, look. Really, not much has changed here. I mean, the critical chance and status chance went up by 4%, and the critical multiplier went up by 0.4. And then the base damage was just ever so slightly adjusted. It was given a little bit more slash compared to everything else, but the regular Tipedo, if you can't get the Prime, the regular Tipedo is going to obliterate Steel Path. It's going to. There's no, like, well, maybe it won't. No, it will. I've made Zaws with similar stats to this and obliteration. So let me actually go to the stave Zaw that I have, the very sharp stick. So the very sharp stick and the Tipedo Prime, yeah, the very sharp stick has more critical chance, but less status and more base damage. It doesn't matter. So honestly, if I remake this Zaw, I'm going to raise the status chance higher than the critical chance because, I don't know, red crits, they're nice and everything. They hit hard, but at the end of the day, it really doesn't matter. So anyway, the Tipedo Prime, it is absolutely fantastic. Again, I don't see it ever, but maybe it is used way more than I think. It could be, but I don't know. So I would highly recommend going for this weapon. If you don't have the relics for it, I assume it's fairly cheap to buy, unless it is one of those weapons that I don't see often, but a lot of people use. If that's the case, then, well, that's going to be kind of expensive. If not, then it's probably going to be pretty cheap. Some Prime weapon sets I've seen go for like 30 plat, if that. So, I mean, you could probably even trade all the parts for Prime junk. Maybe. I don't know. It all depends on the buyer. It all depends on so many different factors. But this weapon, this stave, it's perfection. It's fucking amazing. I love this weapon so much. It has the perfect speed. It's not too fast. It's not too slow. Well, it's a little fast, but that's fine. It just destroys Steel Path without any effort. I mean, every single melee weapon in the game does that anyway. But it's overall just extremely, extremely powerful. So, yet again, I find another weapon that does not red crit on its own, and it destroys Steel Path. Who'da thunk it? I have another Prime weapon building right now, which I'm going to review in a future video, probably the next video after this one, that is going to be the same story, but we'll see. So, Tipedo Prime. What can I say but it is such a minor upgrade, but it's a very good minor upgrade. It's like the Karak Wraith to the Kuva Karak. They are very similar stats, but the ever so slight adjustments to them make the weapon way better, way more powerful, way more potent. Even though I'm not a numbers guy, it's good to know that you don't need to overblow these numbers to make weapons extremely powerful. Ever so slight adjustments in the right areas can make a weapon extremely strong. And I also don't know the Riven disposition on this weapon Could be 2 out of 5. Could be 1 out of 5 for all I know. Could be 3 out of 5. It could be 5 out of 5. I don't know. But anyway, this is definitely a weapon I would recommend, especially if you love staves. So, thank you guys so much for watching. And remember, in Trilby, we trust.